Hello! It's that time of year where cadets commission to become second lieutenants, my favorite rank. Second lieutenants are bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, optimistic, and eager to get out into their squads until they find out how much is on their mind and how overwhelming they suddenly become. But it's okay, you're not alone. It can certainly be a lot to manage your newfound responsibility, manage budgets, manage your career and the career of others. But today we're going to go out over a variety of concerns that many second lieutenants have and ways to mitigate them and manage those concerns so that you can start off on the right foot. I'm Michelle Masher-Batista with Deliberate Military Experience, and one of my main goals is to help new officers build confidence while building their skills so that they can make a real difference while advancing their newfound roles and responsibilities. So let's dive in. The number one concern I have felt myself and seen in other second lieutenants or ensigns is that you wonder, will anyone respect me? The glorious butter bar. That rank comes with a mix of emotions and opportunities. Yes, people have been in the military maybe longer than you've been alive, and that's just reality sometimes. But just know with this newfound rank is a new opportunity to meet new people and learn from them. This is the time to learn. Take the time to really ask questions and observe. And if I can't give you any other piece of advice but this, lean on your non-commissioned officers. They are the technical experts and they know what needs to get done. Your role is to set vision and priorities. Let the NCOs run the day-to-day operations. Once you master this concept, you will find that you will be respected for your ability to trust in others while remaining humble and knowing the things you don't know. So with that, the next concern might be, where is the line between my role and the NCOs? Do we do the same thing? Sorta. You both need to know what needs to get done at the end of the day. However, there needs to be clear expectations on who's doing what. More than likely, you will be doing a greater portion of the administrative functions, attending meetings, documenting things, being responsible for inspections, those sorts of things. But the NCOs do run the daily personnel training, equipping, getting them ready for the next big task at hand. You need to understand each other's roles and respect it, but there is certainly overlap, and you are ultimately responsible for ensuring your NCOs do what they need to do, but don't micromanage unless you need to. Give them every opportunity to show you what they can do. More than likely, they've been around longer than you. The next question you might have in your mind as you venture off into your new unit is, what if I make a mistake? No question, you will make a mistake, and it is expected that you will make mistakes. Mistakes are the way that you can grow in a very quick manner, so embrace it. Now, don't go losing a weapon and make that big of a mistake, but if you do, evaluate how you'll bounce back from them. People will judge you on how you bounce back and how you learn from mistakes just as much on whether or not you can avoid making mistakes altogether. Mistakes are a great way to learn, and remember this as you have to discipline others who make mistakes too. It's very human, but we certainly do try to do everything we can to avoid it, but it will happen, and when it does, don't let it get yourself down too much. Another common concern that many newly commissioned officers feel is feeling the overwhelmed. How do I prioritize everything? I'm overwhelmed. Well, the best way to manage your emails, meetings, making sure that you're sticking to your training schedule, budgets, inventorying, all these things that you need to take care of is to really ask yourself, is this mission critical? Is this on the commander's docket of a high priority? You really do want to support your boss and all the initiatives that they have for you. So if somebody just has a good idea and you don't feel like you have bandwidth, go bring it back to the mission. This is helping our mission, whatever that may be, in garrison or for deployment. Next is ask yourself, does this affect my people? Will this negatively or positively impact the morale and culture of our unit? You certainly want to stay away from anything that will hamper the culture and morale of your unit. However, there will be times when you are conflicted for having to recall all your people in the middle of the night, but it is for a good cause. It's to get those sets and reps in before the real job needs to get done downrange. Your people need to be trained, and you need to keep a bigger focus on the ultimate goals of your commander and unit. So just keep that in perspective as you prioritize your tasks. If anything comes up that does not support the mission or your people, see if you can't delegate it or schedule it for another day. This way you don't feel bad for not doing it, but you just focus on what needs to get done in the short term while you are getting through the process. The next concern that I find that new officers have, and honestly, many officers in general still have this problem, is being able to properly counsel and give feedback to people. If you are a traditional second lieutenant or ensign where you are 22 years old and you just came out of college, this can be quite intimidating when you are trying to give negative feedback to somebody who potentially could be as old as your parent. But you need to have the intestinal fortitude and have a plan to go about to do this effectively so that you still get your message across while using your platform to do so. When you give feedback to somebody, good or bad, approach it like you would an AAR, an after action review. Simply state what went well in a situation, what went poorly, and what's the plan to move forward, and specifically what you can do as the officer in charge to make it better. What resources or support or even training do you need to provide to another member of your team, possibly an NCO or a junior enlisted member? Really ask for their feedback and their opinion on the matter at hand. But whether it's just an annual performance review where you're kind of outlining the things that your member did throughout the year, or if you need to address an issue that happened recently, really take the time and have a plan to have those conversations. They certainly will be difficult at first, but once you become more practiced in reading your own emotional intelligence and learning that of others, you will be able to anticipate the concerns that other people will probably have, and you will gather more resources along the way so that you can be more helpful for them. The next concern that many new officers have is finding a way to balance the needs of their own people with theirs. A lot of officers will quickly delay their own gratification in their own time so that they can help others, and that's very admirable, but that is not helpful in the long run. You must be able to delegate tasks to others so that you can get time back to get done what you need to get done. And when you feel a sense of accomplishment in your daily duties, then you can feel a sense of freedom to tackle your own professional goals, such as attending a professional military education course or a seminar or anything like that. You must schedule these tasks for you, because no one else will. You need to learn now that you are your own career manager, no matter what anyone says. A commander can only look out for you so much. A branch manager can only look out for you so much. You are the only one that truly knows your own goals for yourself, for your family, for your finances. Only you know that. Be sure to schedule it out across your career. If you're not versed in a career map, I'll link a sample down below for you. I really implore you to take a look at it and create your own. It is your map. You don't know where you're going without a map. So be sure to schedule it out, plan out your own goals so that you do not lose sight of them while you're helping your own teammates along their own journeys. A super common concern I see amongst new officers is, how do I avoid burnout? This is a very true concern that many officers often find themselves unable to tackle, to the point where they just resign after their commitment is done. If you like the military and you find that you're good at it, you're going to want to really build your endurance. You need to set boundaries on when people can bother you, when you bother other people. Remember, it's reciprocal. If you don't want to be bothered at dinner time, don't bother other people. Of course, unless it's mission driven or critical, but you need to make that judgment call. Just because you're curious about something or the status of a certain project or inventory or whatnot, if it can wait, let it wait. As you stay in the military, you will find out what is truly important and what is just daily operational business, and it can wait. Time is one of those things that cannot be given back to people no matter how much you try. So really try to respect the time of others as well as your own. And sometimes the only way to do that is to time block events. If it's PT time, let it be PT time. If it's dinner time with your families, let it be that. If you've scheduled out night classes for yourself while you work on your master's, let it be that. To avoid burnout, you must realize that time is a limited resource and you need to use it appropriately and not just give 24 hours of your day to the military, because before you know it, you'll find that's the only thing you know, and there's so much more to life to the military, although it's a very wonderful occupation, profession, and team to be a part of. All officers go through this learning curve, and sometimes it can be especially difficult for officers that were previously enlisted. I know, I've been there too. You want to be a doer, you want to get in the mix of things, you want to show people what you can do. This is the time to set yourself back a little bit, to really look around and see where your skills can be best implemented. Good leaders are disciplined, and that means sometimes you need to override your natural willingness to be a helper. You need to be a leader, and by doing that, you set the tone and you set the example while learning from others. Leadership is a lot about understanding yourself and remaining humble as you learn from others as you navigate this new world of leadership and officership, which is its own entity under its own. You can really thrive in your new leadership role by setting boundaries, leaning on NCOs, find you some good ones and learn everything you can from them. They have so much to offer. If you get a good amount of them put together, you could have 100 years worth of experience to learn from. There's no need to make every mistake on your own. You don't have enough time in your career to learn every mistake that 5 good NCOs can teach you in 1 year. Additionally, being consistent will pay dividends amongst the ranks. They will understand you and know what to expect of you if you can be consistent in your delivery of good news and bad news, when to expect you in the office and whatnot. Be there for them as much as you can, but remember to set boundaries and to always remain professional and do everything that you can that is legal, moral, and ethical, but don't stray away from the values that were instilled in you. You're going to do great and go very far. And if you haven't taken the time to learn about the blended retirement system, one of the cornerstones of the way that you'll take care of yourself in the long term, check out this video on the blended retirement system to learn more.